The peanut butter aisle, the category itself, has been declining over the last few years. It had like a 30% decline year over year for the last year. Pistachio butters and new alternatives have been up 300%. Almost 400, 500% in majority of retailers. We were basically peeling pistachios in our living room and my fingers were hurting from peeling all the pistachios. Did the investment banking route in the beginning, but never really felt fulfilled in any way. From blender to market, we went in 4
Thanks for
months.
coming on the Shop the Scale podcast, man. Great to have you here.
Happy to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
So maybe let's start with your background. Going from banking to starting a pistachio butter company. Like, how does that exactly happen? Kind of talk us through that initial stage.
Yeah, I mean, did the investment banking route in the beginning. Just worked in Toronto and New York. After that, went into private equity for a bit, worked with a lot of businesses, but never really felt fulfilled in any way. I think a lot of my colleagues would probably concur with that. Like sometimes you feel like that in your job, and I felt like that. I was really burnt out, worked a lot of long hours. Decided at that moment, like, I need to do something for on my own, and somehow landed into pistachio butter. Like, it's still crazy to think how we got here, but we were basically peeling pistachios in our living room, and my fingers were hurting from peeling all the pistachios. And I'd eaten peanut butter as a kid, but I was thinking like, why is there no pistachio butter that I can just eat instead? It was just an innocent thought, an innocent moment at the time. But then you get down to it, you start digging, and you go to the world's busiest Whole Foods in New York City, and you can't find a pistachio butter. Then you check 5 more stores around Manhattan, and there's nothing there. You find online 2 options. One is a very bland option, which is just pistachios milled together. It doesn't really taste very good. The other one is just a sugary, creamy, heavy Dubai chocolate version. So that was the other side, where if you eat a lot of it, it's not good for you. Like, it's just a lot of high sugar, like 28 grams per serving. So we thought to ourselves, why couldn't we make something, healthy, but then also something that tastes good? So we set to just work out on the recipe in our kitchen. And yeah, we left our jobs and basically decided to take this product to market after our friends really liked what we created, and we kept eating it all the time. And fast forward to a year now, we're here. So running a business like this and just been doing that. So it's been crazy.
Awesome. So the initial stage of kind of like validating it was that, let's say you made a few jars, a few samples of it, and then were you just giving it out to friends, be like, try this out, see kind of what you feel about it? Or
Yeah, friends, we loved it. We were eating it a lot. We were getting high on our own supply. And then we were out on the streets. So we would bring a jar or like a container, and we would just stop strangers on the street and start giving it to them, because our friends could lie to us. They just being nice, like, oh, you guys, this is cute. But I mean, they were still eating it though. While they were, even if they were lying, they were still eating it. So they were good friends. And our parents loved it too. Family, everybody. You just need that validation from a stranger that you have no idea. And it was really easy to stop people and have them try it. They didn't know what pistachio butter was and loved it. Some people even bought like some of our samples on the street at that time. So that's when we kind of knew we had something, and we decided to go for it.
and I guess pistachio butter as a whole, it's like there's this peanut butter, there's almond butter also as well. So like you're kind of defining a new category per se, because you're finding that sweet spot, something that's not too sugary, something that's not too bland. How has that been for you with kind of convincing, whether it's retailers, whether it's customers, stuff like that, because you don't have a ready kind of niche per se within the store?
Yeah, it's nut butters as a whole. Like, it's a pretty built out category, but there's just a few players that dominate sometimes, and a few types. Like, so exactly like you mentioned, peanut butter and almond butter now. Like, I guess those would probably be the main 2 that people have heard about. There's other types like walnut butter, hazelnut butter, but that's loaded with sugar. Sometimes like Nutella is like considered a hazelnut butter, but it's not really any hazelnut. It's just chocolate, and so you're just eating sugar and cream. So there's some nuts that can taste really good, like peanut butter works, almond butter works, pistachio butter works. Other nuts that don't really taste good when you make it in your nut butter. You just can't get to that taste. And the bland pistachio butter was at that level. So you see that kind of in the farmer's market style. Like, you're just seeing that, like, people are just making that for others and just selling them on weekends at farmer's market. No real broad scale. And we had some statistic that we were seeing online, and we looked and validated retailer statistics and data. The peanut butter aisle, like the category itself, has been declining, or it's been kind of flat over the last few years. Naturally, it's just been around for so long, you can't continue to grow like at a high rate. So I think like it had like a 30% decline year over year for the last year. However, pistachio butters and new alternatives have been up 300%, almost like 400, 500% just in majority of retailers. It's easier to grow smaller numbers, obviously, but whenever you see a statistic like that, it just gets anyone excited that's working in this space. So that's when we set out, like we just kept pumping the gas up, and we just want to grow it as fast as we can and build a brand around it. It's around clean eating, and that's like our complete ethos, like just clean eating and something that can be a smarter indulgence, that you can have every day. It's part of your routine, and it's not like a, you eat it and you feel bad, or you eat it and it doesn't really taste good, but you just kind of eat it every now and then. It's something that you can eat every day and feel good about. It's like, and we're working on every way to make it more so, like, so that it can fit in your routine in more of a seamless way as possible. And we're trying to add these new things, and I think you'll see a lot of cool stuff coming up in the next few months from us that we're really, really excited about.
It's awesome. That's awesome. And so when you started giving out samples, people loved it. Walk me through like where did you go from there? Did you go to like a co-packer? Did you go to the store directly?
Yeah. From there, we were making it in our blender, but that was not a sustainable thing, and we never wanted to be a manufacturer. So we started the co-packer route. We just went on a wagon tour around the U.S. Because I think it's also important to note that 50% of the world's pistachios come from California. So these trees have been planted for over 30 years. There was a big tax credit that farmers would get in California back in the 70s, 80s that incentivized them to plant these trees, which are originally from the Middle East. But the latitude of the Middle East is almost the same as California, like the southern part of California. So you have the same climate, and this is where a pistachio tree can grow. It's a really, it's a delicate nut, as opposed to some of the other trees nuts that are more resilient to climate, where you can grow it anywhere. Some can grow underground, some can grow with limited water, but these trees need 18, 20 years to bear fruit of like rigorous water and rigorous sunlight. And that's why you're seeing a lot of pistachios come online now, and also why it makes it really expensive. So we thought, keep this product in the US. Can't bring it to Canada, unfortunately, which has been a big point for us. Like, it's home for us that we needed to get it there, but it's just solely because of the climate dynamics for it. And it's just once you get it over, and then the tariffs now, especially. So keeping it in the US was the logical first step for us, just where the business was going and where we wanted to sell it as a premium product. So we started finding different co-packers and shared with them like what we're thinking about, and got into diligence and just talked through our recipe. And after that, we're just producing. And yeah, it's been almost more than a year now at the co-packer search. Yeah, it was a cool experience. And then after that, it's just scaling our brand from there.
Amazing. So, I guess what would be your advice for like a newer brand that's looking to find a co-packer? Because I mean, I speak with a lot of like founders, and they're like, yeah, well, I sent like 10 emails out, no one replied to me. I can't really find anyone. But you actually did the work of actually driving to these places or trying to
Yeah.
meet them face to face. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we started with a call. It was generally like we were pretty resilient people. Like, we just kind of have to follow up a lot. Like, at first it was difficult, but also you have to show up with some sort of a concrete plan in a way, have something that they can work off of. Not, I'm looking to do this, can you help me come up with a recipe? I know a lot of people do that, and a lot of co-packers do provide that, but we had everything. We had our percentages worked out, whatever we wanted. We had sent them samples as well. So we mailed them like little tubs and before we even talked to them. So they had our sample before we'd even met them in person. And after we had talked to about 10 or 20, and we shortlisted it down to the 4 or 5 that we were interested in working with. And after that, you meet with some, and some that you discuss. And generally the ones you meet with, we're still talking with them. When we scale up, it'll be nice to have, but their business is just helping as many different brands as they can. And they just usually charge on a per pound or a per hour basis on how they produce. So there's different ones for different types of products. So like a nut butter one is not going to be making something with dairy generally. Like they wouldn't have a line for that. So just going online, I think Keychain is a good source. We didn't use it. We were just using brute force, but now in the world of it, you have a lot of good screening tools that you can do to find them. So just stay with it and follow up.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. No, that's great advice. And on like on the production side, so this with pistachios, I'm guessing the price also can go up a lot because it's a variable price. So I guess how do you guys kind of figure out how to, I guess price your product per se, to ask in simple terms, when your input costs can sometimes vary up and down a lot.
Yeah, big problem for us sometimes, but it's a premium product, and we've completely aligned our vision and our path forward based on our premium positioning. Because there's no secret, like this product is expensive because we don't put any fillers in. If you could make this cheaper if you put fillers in, some people even adjust the recipe based on the commodity price, but we take on all the commodity price. We source like the highest quality of ingredients, only things that we would want to put in our body ourselves. And after that, we give it a price, and that doesn't really change. We're still working out what the final price should be, and right now it's around $20 for a 8-ounce jar, like 20 USD, which we realize it is expensive when you're looking at groceries, but generally like it's something that's good for you. And hopefully, we can continue to stay at that price. There is a world there where we might have to increase, but generally, like our product is just, it's so premium. And we haven't had any problems with our customers, like on price. That's actually like the most interesting part. Like our customer, they never really talk about price as a big sticking point. Mostly they just want us to continue to make the product clean, and they understand that clean products are expensive. When you're buying skincare or when you're buying hair product, you don't want a cheap product. You want something that's more expensive because you know it's good for you. Like when that world of cheap and expensive bridges in, that's a great thing for all businesses that do premium products, I think. And it'll have the dichotomy of the two prices built a lot closer. So I hope that happens where you're only having clean products, and then there's super good products. You have an option at that point, which is where we want to be like, this is a super good product. So we want to price it accordingly. And yeah, it's working.
And I guess what would be advice, to someone that's trying to figure out their pricing strategy? A lot of times, let's say someone's a DTC brand where they're buying for 3, selling for 6, and they think everything is great. But then when they go into retail, there's like listing fees, MCBs, there's a bunch of different things that they're looking at that just cut down their margin like crazy. So I guess what would your advice be on pricing strategy?
Yeah, we've tried to do retail selectively at the moment. Like all our retail that we do now has really, really low slotting and MCBs, and we don't want to go to mass retail right now. We're just not ready. We've heard a lot of brands get slashed in retail early on, so we're really trying to lean into direct to consumer at the moment. That's our biggest focus. So just going through exhausting the entire e-commerce channel is our near-term goal. You can't be everything to everyone right now. So a lot of times we've heard it's that you just spread yourself too thin. You're in retail shelves, you lock in a contract with a big distributor early on. And we've looked at that, and it's just been something that we're not really comfortable with at the moment. We find that our customer is looking for us online anyways, because they can't really find it in shelves like we were. We couldn't find it in shelves anyways. So then we went online and it just came to our door. So getting to retail would be like a later thing for us. It's something that's huge for us. It would be sick to be in some of the stores that, you frequented a lot as a shopper, but in today's day and age with e-commerce, I'd recommend it like there. But on the note about pricing, never losing a dollar. I think that's what a lot of people try to do is you don't prepare for the worst. So putting some margin in extra to like just make sure you're alive. And in case you have a really expensive batch or something goes wrong with production, or you have a logistic problem, the Strait of Hormuz, like stuff like that. Like if things like that happen, you don't want to be caught with the problem at the end. And because it's not like you're trying to pass on the cost to someone, you're trying to stay alive so that your customer can have you for another day. And a lot of people price it where there's not enough room. Like we try to keep just enough room that we can, live to fight another day and just have our product out a little bit more. And hopefully once we scale up, we can bring some of those costs down. We've found a lot of ways to bring costs down as you scale up, and just keeping a margin at that level will just help us when we're at a larger level, and figuring those out while we're small right now is good.
Do you find maybe it's a side question, but it's like, does your investment banking experience kind of help out on the financial numbers piece? Like, do you find there's a correlation there?
Totally. Yeah. I couldn't do this job without it. If I didn't do banking, I'd be in a difficult spot. Just for me, like that's our strengths. Like both of us, my partner and I, we both private equity too. Just understanding how businesses work, it's super crucial for this. And yeah, it's definitely very helpful. Like our models are pretty crisp. Like all our financials are tight. We kind of know where everything's going. We have the tools as well. Like we know what tools we need to help us. But yeah, like that's not where our problem's going to be. If it's not going to be on margin or cost, it's going to be somewhere else where it's not our strength. So we just try and focus on that. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. So just focusing on what our weaknesses are, we just try to do that. And yeah, like other founders are good at some other things that we like look to mimic, and we're like, oh wow, that's great. And we've had a lot of people ask us like how that works, and we're always like happy to help. But we've had a ton of help in the space. Everyone's been really nice. So it's been great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I guess moving to like the marketing side, and you guys are doing really well on Amazon, probably have your own Shopify store as well. Like what's been some of the marketing channels that you guys have used that have been pretty effective to, go from 0 to 100 to 1,000 basically?
Yeah, we've just rolled it organically pretty much. Like we've just been creating videos about the product, eating the product, sharing with friends, like trying to build a community. And it's been going well. Like we have figured out a lot of stuff that we can do better throughout this process, like seeing what videos engage with our customers, what doesn't work. Like it's still like such a trial and error time. And a lot of businesses, they kind of build for 2 or 3 years before going public with it. And they're pre-launch for a long time. Like we just dove into the deep end. We didn't really have that much validation. We were like, we had like less than 10 people tried, and we quit our jobs and go. That's not a very normal thing that happens. So we're still so early in the game, but it's our job now, which has been so rewarding. But yeah, we've just been doing it organically and slow. On Amazon, we've been growing well. Like we've had some help from partners. We've been using that to like figure out the Amazon, how that works. It's the Amazon, man. It's the vast rainforest of the world, biggest place. So it's a tricky market to manage, and we're figuring out through that like what keywords are helping us and what people are searching for, and it's aligning with our strategy all the time. Figuring out our ROAS on that, like return on ad spend. That's a key part. And before you just start putting ad dollars to work, you got to know what's working. So we've really put an effort in the last 6 months in growing our ROAS, and happy to say it's been going really well from losing money on ads to now we're 5x profitable, and we're having branded keyword search. Like people are searching us up. That's the area we're at, and Amazon's like a good engine for us right now, and it's proven our validation even more.
So did you guys initially first launch on Amazon and on your website, or was it you went into retail, like into the first couple of stores first?
Yeah, it was Amazon. It was our first spot. We just wanted people to be able to order it. That was our thing. We didn't want to ship it out ourselves because we knew we'd had to be on the road doing all this stuff. Like we're always on the road, meeting with different retailers, meeting with different customers, shooting content in different areas with the product, because that's what we like to do. We're not in the game for making it, because we're not manufacturers. We don't want to pretend to be, because that's where things can go wrong. We pick like a FDA certified like manufacturer, and we sleep well at night. I can barely boil pasta sometimes. So it's when you keep it going after that, like it's then our own website. Like we're actually launching a new website soon and getting it more aligned with our branding. Like we got a whole new look coming out that aligns with our values a little bit more. Like the first logo and branding we made ourselves, and now it's something that we're getting down professionally, and we really like the look, and I'm so excited about it. So that store will be done through a 3PL. Like we have now enough demand that we can go through a 3PL. Again, not boxing orders ourselves and trying to make sure the the customer gets a good, well-boxed product really fast as opposed to coming from us, and it's almost at Prime Day levels, even if you order from our own store. But that's all coming out live with the new look. And then
That's awesome.
retail, as I mentioned, is just opportunistic. Like whatever stores reach out to us, like we love to have your product here. Like it aligns really well with some of our other products that we look at. Like and those are the ones we find that sells well. Like our customer goes to that store. It's always about where our customer is, what they're doing, what's their habits, like what trying to get in their head and just to be able to service them better.
Amazing. And I guess maybe just walk me through like what was that initial like the first retailer that you spoke with? Did it need a lot of convincing, or was it that they just saw something that is an untouched sort of section of this larger nut butter category? Just kind of walk me through like how that initial conversation was with the initial retailer.
Yeah, I mean, nut butters have been kind of a sleepy category. It's not something that people have been talking about too much. Like right now, categories that we hear about are all like huge. Yogurt, huge. A lot of stuff about yogurt, beverages, better for you, like Mexican food, Indian food. Like you've been seeing all that stuff, but nut butters have been a little sleepy. Like, you had the Justin's come in. I think that was the one kind of shake up that you saw in the space. Other than that, there hasn't been really much excitement. So the retailers that reached out to us or that we went to, they weren't really thinking about their nut butter category. They're kind of like, oh, it's moves like, I think the rate was a 1 jar per store per week. And it was like, if you can meet that metric, we're like, we can sell a jar in a store per week. We can do that. So we're like, if we don't sell, we kind of went in with like, here's our product, try it out. They loved it. They're like, this is awesome. We love the taste of it. And after that, it's like, okay, you're a new brand. We're taking a risk on you. Can you sell at this level? If not, you have to take your inventory back. We're like, all right, game on. So it was a bit of a gamesmanship style, and we ended up crushing the metric. We were selling sometimes like 20 jars in a week. We'd go do a demo, and then whenever we weren't doing a demo, it was still like 2 to 3 jars like a week, just at a really high price because you have a retailer markup. So, and then on Amazon, we sell a lot more than that per day. So we know that our product is good. Just at the point, it's about scaling it up, and we know we're ahead of the category, but it's not enough because it's easier to move smaller numbers. Bigger numbers are harder to move. So we just know where we need to get to and just take it step by step from there. But we also don't want to get too deep in the retailer game, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah, and then on the point of, I guess, competition, are you starting to see that coming in for like the healthier pistachio butters, or not yet? Where's your headspace at with that?
Yeah, the healthy ones have been there before we started, and then the unhealthy ones have been there before we started. We look at competition, but it's also, I want more competitors. I would love it. That would just help the category overall. And whatever branding that they choose to go with, it's going to be a different sector than us. Like it's less like, and if they're competing for the same type of customer, that would just help the customer make a choice. And if they're making a choice, that means they're consuming more pistachio butter and they're doing something good for their bodies. Like I would I would love that. But right now, the space is very, very tight towards either peanut butter. They're just getting the same old bland peanut butter and they're looking for better options. And we're like, hey, we're here. Or the sugary ones, and they're hurting their bodies in a way, or they're, like some people really like sugar. We're like, okay, like that's not for us. Like, can't be everything to everybody, but you can be something to somebody. And that's our goal. Like, we just want to be something to that person that is like us, just wants to eat healthy and do something good for their body and have something good that they can eat every day.
I think one of the reasons you guys succeeded as well is that you're very clear on like who your customer is, and you're not trying to go after, let's say, not trying to be, mass market like a Jif or a Skippy or any of the other massive peanut butter brands that are out there. So yeah, I think that's something that like really makes you guys stand out, which is why you've been able to sell like, let's say, $20 a jar easily, for example.
Yeah, yeah. We start with the customer that's, likely to find a new product, and they're the ones that are looking to try new products. And then after that, we get to the one that, is providing for their family. And they're at the grocery store shopping and they want to make sure that their kids are having something good for them. So that's those two personas are everything to us. And we do everything every day to just make sure that they're happy with our product. And they have been. So we know we're doing something right.
Definitely, definitely. And before the call, we were chatting a bit about kind of AI and how that's helping CPG brands out. In a way, it reduces your costs in a lot of different aspects. You're able to, like a two-person's team, able to do the output of maybe 10 people, for example.
Yeah.
So I guess how have you guys used, AI in your sort of processes overall?
Yeah, we use it every day. I know a lot of people say that. We genuinely do, but we don't use it enough. We've learned about so many other ways that it can help us do things that we didn't do before through AI. So we're just still trying to learn it. But yeah, it helped us build this in, I think we went to from Blender to market, we went in 4 months. I don't think we could have done that with it. Blender to market. That includes, full safety, full legal, full setup, full recipe, co-packer, investor raise, and Amazon from beginning to end for 4 to 5 months. And that is not possible without AI. And we're a two-person banking team. Like, we're efficient, but we're not that good. So and everything worked out well. Like, there's no detail that we missed on. We worked hard, a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of long hours, but in the end, it couldn't have been done without AI. It's the speed at which it's able to synthesize data, research that you can do, the modeling that it can help you with. Like, we use it to build our models. Like, our financial projections are built through AI. Our entire like market research, our formulation when we were working on the math for that, like just fact checking us, making sure our model like looks good, like our entire recipe, like it's a perfectly built model, and our ordering thing, our inventory tracker, like all that's built through AI. But again, having the next goal now is just having something that parses through your emails. I know there's tons of tools that we're trying to find the right one. There's social media stuff that you can do, but we want to still keep it organic. There's some things that we're reluctant to change to AI because we want that human touch. So it's a balance. You can't just leave everything and let it do the work for you, but it's a balance that we want to strike well.
Yeah, and like all those areas you were talking about, that's like thousands of dollars gone to like consultants or
Yeah,
other kind of, agencies per se that you saved basically because of a $20 Claude or ChatGPT subscription basically. Yeah.
exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And want to talk a little bit about on the fundraising side. I guess you guys have fundraised. So I guess what would your advice be to founders they've had some initial traction, they've gone to the first couple of stores, they've seen some DTC success on Amazon, TikTok Shop, whatever. Should they take on funding? What are some of the factors they should look at, I guess, when they're looking at that, basically?
Yeah, we bootstrapped it for the first part, and we wanted to raise the capital just as like extra money to be able to do some of the cool stuff that we wanted to do, like with the business. And there's only so much risk that you can take on yourselves. Like, we're 26 at the time, so we're still like really young, and like don't come from too much of personal finances. So it's just you do what you can with what you've saved up, and you have your savings, but enough to still build a business and quit your job and live on that and pay Manhattan rent. But after that, you leave your apartment and life comes at you fast. You're living in your parents' basement after that. So it's still completely on that life. And it looks like a very glamorous life sometimes from the outside, but it's a lot of like just sacrifice that you make sometimes and that you have to do for yourself. Like, you can't always go to that nice dinner, or you can't do that and now it's more of a flow state at the moment. So you're in that spot where you're able to figure out your finances. But we planned for this earlier. That's why we raised the money. It's just so we can comfortably live your daily life and sweat equity and whatever this business, and you do it with a peace of mind and you can have that. And we've seen the results from it, and we're glad we took it on, but not too much. And it wasn't even a full fundraise. It was just a friends and family of just people that are in our network, some people that are our old bosses and friends that are in the space, some people that have pistachio farms. Like, there's strategic investors in there, but no like VCs at the moment. We've had some interest as well from VCs that want to come in, but we're reluctant at that point. I think when we look to raise is probably when we're going into retail. I think that's probably the logical area to raise. And we've thought about the Shark Tank side, like all that stuff. And it's super exciting for us. But that friends and family, like, it helped us a lot just to be able to give us that cushion, as well as have, firepower to be able to put into the business when there's a really cool initiative. Like that co-packer search was pretty expensive early on, like taking flights across America to go and see them and live in hotels and just be able to go and do that was pricey. And then the initial product launch, like you have to put a lot of money in and you lose a lot early on. Most I think 50% of startups fail within the first year. So we just want to beat that stat. And I think we did it well.
Yeah, and especially in CPG where like the cost inputs can be crazy at times. So
Yeah,
yeah, it can get
it's
quite
crazy.
quite challenging. So your recommendation would be, I guess, at the starting, before you're in retail, do friends and family if you need to raise, if you don't have your own personal capital. And then once you're trying to go towards retail, let's say especially the big box retailers, that's when
Yeah.
you kind of look at VC funding, for example.
That's how we're thinking about it. I mean, everybody's got such a different story. We hear so many different ways to do it, and a lot of them are successful, a lot of them are not. And it just depends on your personal circumstances. Like this was our personal circumstances, and that's what we did. And glad that we did it. It helped us a lot. And the amount we've given up is negligible in the long run of long scheme of things. So we just our product spoke for itself. Like when you don't just go in and raise, like we had to make sure that our product was good. We had all our business plan done. We made a beautiful deck. It's like you need to make all that stuff, and those are our strengths, right? So we're good at those things, and that's what we did, marketed it, and it worked out. After that, what's been really helpful is our weekly investor updates. So like now it's more like monthly at this point, but it's like weekly, bi-weekly investor updates that we give, just what's been going on, what we've been doing. And we look back at our email chain of all these updates that we give, and it really keeps us accountable and holds us on. And we run ideas with them. There's an aspect of maturity that we knew we lacked. Like, again, what our weakness is, like we're 26 at the time, 27, but it's just, you have your maturity aspect that you just can't buy without age. But then there's a balance of maturity versus risk. So we source the maturity through our investors. Whenever we have questions, we ask. And it has really helped keep our heads on straight through the chaos of the different things that come with us.
I love that, source to maturity. That is something that I'm gonna repeat that for sure with all the people that I talk to. You got to source the maturity sometimes.
Yeah, man. It's actually like when we were in private equity, that's where I learned that. It's um sometimes you can't run a business like sheerly because of your age. And it's not ageism, it's just you don't have the maturity to be able to do that. And it's very few people can do it. And why take the risk, right? Like just, source the maturity, use your mentors. And we're still on search for mentors all the time that fit with us, like somebody that we look up to. So it's such an important thing for businesses that sometimes is overlooked.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Kind of go to the end of the conversation. It's up. What is where is Stesh at right now with number of jars sold, revenue wise, and then where do you kind of see Stesh being in the next couple of years? I guess.
Yeah, we've grown from zero to right now doing about K 20 30K. Sometimes like we have line of sight into a lot more than that. But again, we still haven't pumped the gas out. We're not doing any paid promotions and stuff. So and jars wise, like we're selling in a month now what we initially made our entire product at, like our entire working capital, like we're selling in less than a month, sometimes in 2 weeks. So it's grown a lot, but it's nowhere near to where we think it can be, just because we got the rebrand coming out. Like when we have the new look, then we'll start going out. But we've been sold out again on Amazon right now. We're sold out. So we've been selling out for the last 2 months straight. So we know we need to up the ante, and we just doubled our order now. So we just keep on doubling and doubling and doubling every 2 months. So it's not like a rocket ship. Like it's not vertical growth, but it's still in the right direction. But every time we grow, we find the area that we can improve and improve that and grow again, find the next area, improve that, grow again. So it's a long game for us. And that's how we're playing it out. We're not in any rush, and we're just enjoying the process as we go through.
I mean, and I think that's going to be, touch wood, a reason for your success, because that a lot of brands, for example, they try to scale too fast, especially in CPG, where they end up falling, the company goes down or whatever. So the fact that you're taking it step by step, I mean, kudos to you guys. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's my co-founder's a lot better at just being methodical about it. I'm more of a, run before you walk kind of guy, but there's a good balance. So you need that. Whatever your weaknesses are, find it.
Amazing. Definitely, definitely. And it was great having you on, man. Last question that we ask everyone that comes on is that if you go back to day one, what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself that would mean that Stesh is double the size of what it is right now, basically?
One advice to give ourselves to double it. I would think probably the professional branding off the beginning. I think having the branding that, we didn't cut corners in any areas, but one area maybe we could have cut less of a corner was the branding side and having the look about what it is. But honestly, having that story now that we can share with our customers of we made this jar ourselves and it's like a Mickey Mouse jar in our minds at this point. Like people still love the look of it, but I'm just looking forward in 3 years from now when we look back at this jar that we went out with, it's gonna be hilarious. Like it's gonna be like a Canadian tuxedo style like thing that we made. But having that story now is really helpful. But to grow it too fast, like we could pump our volume really fast if we had the right branding on right now. But I think at the moment that's what I'm looking at. But it's such a small thing in the grand scheme of things. And I don't know, doubling right now would just be a lot more stress and I don't really like to stress too much. Just like keep it slow and keep it growing is what we like to do.
Amazing,
That's a
amazing,
good
man. No,
question.
it was great to have you on, man. I
Thanks,
wish
man.
you all the success, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Stesh in Canada at some point.
Working on it. Working on it, man. Oh, you'll be the first to know. But yeah, wish you success too with this. This is an awesome channel you got, and I know you're gonna crush it. So it's really appreciate you having me on, and yeah, let's keep it going.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks.
Sweet, man.